Hello, so The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. This isn't really going to be a review, to be honest, because I just don't think I'm particularly capable of reviewing this book. I'm just not capable of doing it justice. And so in the same vein, if you're someone who's watching this because you're waiting for someone to pull it apart and slag it off, then you might as well leave now, be off with you, because that's not going to happen here. This book is absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I listened to it on Audible. It's narrated by Neil Gaiman. I think he's got a fantastic voice. I've done a review on his Norse mythology, which I listened to about 6 months ago now, something like that. Absolutely loved that. Wasn't really aware of Neil Gaiman before then. I've read so many books in between then and now, but I thought I would give his Ocean at the End of the Lane a go. I don't tend to read quite as many fictions as I should, really. This channel is kind of about personal development. I do these book reviews because I believe that reading is one of the best possible things you can do to improve yourself as a person, at work, in your career, in your family life. However, right across the board, I think reading is absolutely superb. I took it up seriously about 3 years ago when my daughter was born, when I decided to better myself and improve myself, and I haven't looked back. I absolutely love it, and I think that fiction is just as important in helping us improve as non-fiction and sort of deliberately personal development, self-help based books. Because I think there's so much imagination and creativity that go into some of these fiction books. I'm not saying all fiction, in the same way I'm not saying all self-help or all personal development. Some are better than others, of course. But Neil Gaiman is an absolute master. His books are fantastic. And this one, like I say, it's just so... It created such a vivid kind of image in my mind. It was nicely dark and creepy, but magical at the same time, and just gave me the ability just to kind of escape. And it's been in my mind ever since I've read it. I've read a couple of books since, but I'm still thinking about this book. I bought it, the hard copy on Amazon, to give to my wife, and she's reading it at the minute. So as soon as she's finished with that, I'm gonna read it again. Like I said, I listened to the audio version, but I'd like to read the hard copy as well, and kind of see if it's just as good. I'm sure it'll be probably even better reading it, to be honest. I tend to prefer reading books, but I like listening to them as well. Neil Gaiman is the narrator. He's got a fantastic voice. I think sometimes he sounds a bit like Alan Rickman, which is really nice. Not always, but at times he does. And he's just got that kind of slightly sinister, slightly creepy kind of, not to do him, I don't mean that in a bad way, I just think he reads it in the right way. Interestingly, he sounds different to how he did in Norse mythology. Obviously, they're completely different books, but he just manages to do it really well, I think. And I think that kind of really makes an audiobook if the narrator can properly pull that off. I think that makes... You can get used to a narrator very quickly. Quite often I'll listen to an audiobook and the first hour I'll think, my God, this person's grating on me a bit, but after a while you get used to it. But with him, it's brilliant straight away. So it's such a good book. I'm not going to give any spoilers whatsoever, because it's just, what's the point? If you want to read this book, read it. I wasn't completely sure, to be honest. I kind of thought, I looked at reviews and thought, yeah, it sounds good, sounds alright. But there's so many other things that I wanted to read that I just didn't kind of get around to it, but I gave it a go. Fantastic book, absolutely brilliant. You know, when you talk about personal development, it's so important to improve your imagination and try and improve your creativity. Having a good imagination or a powerful imagination and being creative are some of the best things that you can develop in yourself, really, and they impact on every area of your life, whether it's being a parent and playing with your kids, or trying to be innovative at work or in your business or whatever. But this guy Neil Gaiman, he's so imaginative. I would love to be able to write like him. If I ever manage to write a book, then he'll be one of my big inspirations. Enough ass kissing. It's just a brilliant book. It's really good. I highly recommend it. If you get a chance to read it, definitely give it a go. Definitely a 5-star book. Fantastic.